What's happening, my beautiful people? My name is Dirty Mike, and yes, it's the freaking weekend, and I've got FUT Champs eyes. I used to call it editing eyes. Well, times are changing because that's a real grind, and today we have another formation review. Myself and OV. I'm going to leave links down below in the description. Make sure to go check out his video, which has the best tactics and the best instructions to go with the 4-3-1-2. And I've actually used this formation in a lot of FUT Champions matches, and in fact entire weekends, and a lot of the pros have as well. So I thought it was a good formation to touch base on, but without further ado, I'm going to jump right into it. If you enjoy it, make sure to support it, drop a thumbs up, get in the comments, talk to me about your formations. Do you have any squads that you want reviewed? Maybe I can get down there and tell you, hey, that's a 6 out of 10, that's an 8 out of 10, and this is why. But without further ado, let's get this underway. Oh yes, if you do need cheap codes and cheap games, head on over to G2A, use Dirty, get that 3% cashback code action. That's what I'm talking about. Links are also in the description. On screen, we've got the Brick Squad, Guap, would approve. And I'm going to actually go into more information about the team, the good, the bad, the ugly at the end of the video. Let's jump into some of the clips. I'm going straight into Division 1. I want to give y'all some premium gameplay, something to work with. Embrace the clips, and as previously stated, this is all in Division 1. But this squad shouldn't be an issue. It shouldn't be a conflict. You shouldn't have worries. It's not a cheap team. And if you guys could actually drop in the comments, what's your record in FUT Champs? Whether you're still playing, whether you've completed it. This video should drop very early, my time, on Sunday morning, before you hit church, or maybe brunch, or breakfast. You do a real breakfast. Maybe you stayed out all night Saturday. After FUT Champs, you took yourself out, you treated yourself as we draw a penalty kick. And I want to talk about the 4-3-1-2 and some of the pros. Now, it's a tempo pusher. And what I mean by tempo pusher, it's a formation that will allow you to speed up the game. So if that benefits your gameplay, and this is where you need to know yourself, as Drake would say, you have to understand what type of FIFA player you are, and what gives you an advantage and what gives you a disadvantage. And that's why this year you see 5 or 6 formations used at the highest level, pro events, and that's kind of rare. Typically, you see everybody using very similar teams, and you see 1 or 2 formations. It's a matter of who can execute the best in those formations. This year is different. That's why I clapped. It's also a great press and counter formation, which kind of goes with the tempo pushing. And once again, just in case you don't understand, you haven't grasped just everything, pressing is where you're pushing up the pitch. You could play this formation attacking. You don't have to play in a very slow build-up. In fact, I think it's a disadvantage to play slow in the 4-3-1-2. You want to be fast, aggressive, and that's another pro, is that it is aggressive. You can beat somebody by 3, 4, 5 goals if you are feeling the game and you're dictating the pace. You see it in this first game. I'm blasting this guy, and he's a Division 1 player, which means he beats most of the people he goes up against. And it's just a matter of being able to overwhelm somebody. It clogs the middle. So if you're playing against another 4-3-1-2 or 4-1-2-1-2, or even a narrow 4-2-3-1, if they're not hitting those wings on the left cam and the right cam, then you're going to be able to truly cause problems in the midfield. A 3-5-2. Any of these guys that are trying to beat you in the midfield, you can stop that. You can set up shop and you can press. Oh, yes, you can. And then when you're attacking, you've got the through balls, and you also have the tiki-taka, which is something that I can appreciate. I've always been a fan of the tiki-taka, but as I was saying, with this formation, you should look to be playing fast, and then the tiki-taka and through balls. Direct play. It rewards direct play, and I feel as if EA and FIFA also rewards people that play decisive, whether it's defensively or offensively. You cannot be a passive player. When I've talked to a lot of different people, and you guys know that I've done some lessons with FIFA here and there, a lot of people's mistakes is that they're trying to play passively. They're hoping that everything is going to be done for you, or they're nervous about maybe going in for a tackle or trying to double team here or taking the risk. And you have to be the aggressor. You have to dictate the pace. You have to indicate what happens and when it happens. And one of the obvious cons when you're looking at the 4-3-1-2, you're not going to have the wings. If you're looking to cross, then you're just not going to have the ideal formation for you. This one's not built for crossing. It's not built for wing play. And it's also not built for slowing down a match. So if you're trying to close out a game, Maybe you're up 2-0 on FUT Champs. Anytime I've played the 4-3-1-2, I would often switch into the 4-2-3-1 at some point in that match if I'm winning. Not because I'm trying to hold the ball, but just so I have better control of what's happening, when it's happening, and being able to kind of close out matches. Because your opponent's going to make adjustments. FUT Champs has got to be a winner, there's got to be a loser. And I want to be on the winning side. But let's talk about the squad. The last segment, a little squad review. In goal, I really used Fen as just a form to get some chemistry. Boateng, we know what he's about. Rudiger, I like him. He's a cheap Boateng. He's not as good as Boateng, but he does have that feel. Big, physical, a little bit clunky, but he can knock you over, pop you one time. Perez, Trey Molinas, love him. Two of my favorite fullbacks in this year's installment, and they're cheap. Why not try them out? They are not expensive. I have that special inform Nzonzi. Steven Nzonzi's a great card. I was very surprised I was able to score a goal with him. He's one of those players, anytime the ball bounces to him around the box, I'm like, this is not going to turn out well. Rijkaard, I'm going to give you a full review on, I think, Tuesday, when we start talking about all my FUT Champs footage, because I've been using him. I love Costa. Supreme. He's just a maestro. He can do it all. Nainggolan, another great balanced midfielder. And then up top, I've been trying to use the Salah card more just because he's very fast. Now, if you're using a 4-3-1-2 on the right side, anytime you have two strikers, recommend a right footer on the right side if you can, a left footer on the left side, just for the across-the-body shot. So I know that that does not exist in this team. I'm just throwing that out there as a disclaimer. And Griezmann, and I know I was talking about doing a compare and contrast with Griezmann versus going up against Suarez, so I picked a few categories. In terms of pace, Griezmann's a little bit faster. In terms of shooting and finishing, I definitely give it to Suarez because Suarez's weak foot is much better than Griezmann's weak foot, and both of their dominant feet are somewhat equal. And then offensive positioning, now this gets tricky because Griezmann scores a lot of goals and so does Suarez. I'd almost give them a tie in that area, just being in the right place at the right time. I actually feel as if Suarez is better in the air. He just feels bigger. I know that Griezmann has incredible heading statistics, but you still got to get the man wide open. What other stats are important for you guys? Probably stamina, fatigue, lasting a match. Suarez easily beats Griezmann. Griezmann gets tired. I actually think if you have the foothead card up in front of you, you're going to see a discrepancy between stamina or fatigue anyways. But I hope that helps you guys a little bit. And if you're doing the slow build-up, they both work. I think Suarez is a little bit more physical, just sheerly off size. But Griezmann is so good at the pace control. He jigs with it very nicely. I just wanted to talk about it briefly. I guess I threw it into this video. A lot of people ask me between those two players, is it worth paying double the price for Suarez? It also depends what position. I love Suarez as a cam. But I'm going to leave off there. If you enjoyed it, drop a thumbs up. Head on over to Ovi. And I have a lot more content coming for you ASAP.